Want to run faster, jump higher, move with more power? The Sports Recovery and Development Program at Bridges Therapy Group builds speed, strength, agility, and endurance while correcting movement issues that can cause injury. Give your athlete the edge. Schedule an assessment today at srdathlete.com.
Love where you live and play with Lindsey Management. Affordable apartments and golf memberships at 9 and 18-hole courses. Buying or selling? Trust Lindsey and Associates. Serving the community for over 50 years. Lindsey, #1 in apartments, golf, and real estate.
The start of 7A West Conference play brings with it a friendly reunion, and we introduce you to this week's Lindsey Girls Athlete of the Week. It is Wednesday, September 24th, and this is Varsity Vibe Today. Welcome into Varsity Vibe Today on this Wednesday. I'm your host, Alyssa Orange. Thanks for joining us once again. And as we get ready to kick off conference play around the state, all of this action also bringing with it some headlines, specifically in the 7A West. So let's get to it. This is our Lewis Automotive opening drive. The fall kickoff event is happening now at the Lewis Automotive Group. Unbeatable prices and special financing. Your next vehicle is ready for you now at one of their 3 locations: Fayetteville, Springdale, and Farmington. Aaron Danenhauer spent 12 seasons as the offensive coordinator for Bentonville before January rolled around of 2025, and he got a phone call from Har-Ber High School asking if he would like to be their head coach. Of course, jumping at the opportunity to be a head coach for the first time, he has taken over this Wildcats program and really tried to instill a winning mentality, really get the guys to buy in his locker room to what his vision is. It's been quite a year for them to start off with, losing to Broken Arrow, fighting back to get the win over Farmington, and then that narrow loss to Greenwood 2 weeks ago with Kane Archer running in that 2-point conversion to win it for the Bulldogs. But this Wildcats team has got talent and they've got fight. They've proven it the first 3 games of the season. But as they now open up 7A West play, the storylines continue to unfold. You know, the football gods love drama, so it is only fitting that as Danenhauer and the Wildcats open up 7A West play, it is against his former team. Had a bye week last week. When you look back at the 3 games you did have, I'm sure there was stuff you liked, stuff you wanted to clean up before 7A West Conference play starts. And so what was the focus last week during the bye?
Yeah, it was definitely all about us. I thought we've done some really good things. We flew around and we've played really, really hard. We just had to clean ourselves up. We've had some turnovers at some bad times that cost us in games, and just simple mistakes. I think that as we continue to play big football games, if we do better, we can put ourselves in position to win. At the end of a game. So. Things like that. It was a good week. Our kids had great energy. We had some really good practices. And so I'm fired up for this week, kind of see what happens.
When you look at your team, I know that you were really just excited about the guys, excited about what you thought you had. Do you think you guys have kind of lived up to, I was pretty right. I was pretty right on what I thought we had for this season to set us up for some success?
Yeah, I think there's been a little bit of even more than you just don't know sometimes. I found out a little bit in the Union scrimmage. I knew those guys were going to fight and they were going to do some really good things and fly around to the football. And then, we play Broken Arrow. We do okay, but it was just the mistakes that hurt us. We got after Farmington and played extremely hard and came back from a 14-point deficit. And then, against Greenwood, they're a great football team. And we made more mistakes, and you can't do it against a good team. So, but yeah, I think I think they've exceeded my expectations a little bit, and I'm fired up for, what's to come.
Well, what's to come is Bentonville. So how do you feel? I know. So just how do you feel about that being your first 7A West Conference game?
Well, you can prepare for what you want. I knew obviously that was going to happen. It's been on the schedule for a while, but there, you'd be lying to sit there and say there's not weird emotions about it and weird, we've been there for so long and it's just, it's not who I would pick for my conference opener if I had to choose. So, but I'm excited for our kids. It's not about me, it's about them. And I think we will compete well.
Being so familiar with that team and the players they have on the other side of the sidelines, how much does that maybe help in preparation for the week?
There's no doubt. And the other side for them, they know me really well too. So
Yeah.
I think it works both ways. I think at the end of the day, it's really just going to come down to kids. The kids have to do it, make a play. I could say all I want to say to them and try to relay certain things. They could do the same thing, but the bottom line is it comes down to kids. It really does. Them making plays on the football field on Friday nights.
I was talking to another coach in the 7A West and just how it feels like this conference right now has so much talent. How excited are you to just see what your team can do and match up against the rest of the conference?
Yeah, really excited. That's what I was telling someone too. I was like, I think the 7A West is the conference again this year. I mean, there's every team I swear has a returning quarterback, and they're all studs, and that goes a long ways when it comes to winning football games, And so I'm excited for our team, and I think they're excited for the challenge. I mean, it doesn't make my job any easier taking over a program. Then all of a sudden, 7A West is really just really good again. But it's good for our conference. It's good for our league going into playoffs. There's no doubt about that.
And I'm sure as a football player, you're just excited to compete. And when you know that you can go in and really anyone can beat anyone any week, there's just got to be some added motivation there.
Oh, there's no, yeah, it makes it really fun. I mean, that's what makes football fun. I was talking with Coach Lunny and stuff, and he'd always say, there's been wins in a program. Like, well, sometimes it's nice to win going away. It makes it fun and easy, but there's something to be said about winning a close football game against a really good opponent, and you left it all out on the field. Like it's definitely a different feeling, and it's why we do what we do. We enjoy that, and so I'm looking forward to it because I know that's one thing I've learned. Like I said, these kids will have my back, and I'm going to have their back, and our coaches, and we'll go out there and compete. I know that. I don't know what the scoreboard's going to say yet, but we're going to compete.
With that being said, in order to beat Bentonville on Friday, Har-Ber's going to have to do what?
We're going to have to win the turnover battle. We can't turn the ball over. That's been something we haven't done a great job of, and defensively has to create some. I mean, against a good football team, field position and turnovers are going to play a huge role in the football game. Our special teams have to be on point to help us accomplish that and not turn the ball over. So that's going to be huge.
Coach told me he's just happy that it's at Har-Ber and not at Bentonville. That would have been just a little too close for comfort. He's excited to see what his guys do against Jody Grant's squad on Friday at Wildcat Stadium. Coming up after the break, we're going to head to the court and introduce you to this week's Lindsey Girls Athlete of the Week.
If you're an athlete that wants to improve your game, maybe improve your 40, jump higher, have better agility, Bridges Therapy Group's Sport Recovery and Development Program can help. They've been helping student athletes reach their highest potential for quite a while now. They've got a team that includes physical therapists, athletic trainers, personal trainers, and occupational therapists. And together, they design individual plans to build speed, explosive power, agility, strength, and endurance. Whether your athlete's returning from rehab or working for a competitive edge, SRD provides the training and guidance to help them succeed. Schedule your athlete's assessment today at srdathlete.com.
Quick Turf is the go-to team for building championship-level sports facilities for public schools, private schools, and the entire school district. They also install beautiful backyard putting greens for homeowners. Known for lifelike, eco-friendly turf, Quick Turf handles everything from design and lighting to drainage and final landscaping. Their all-in-one approach delivers high-performance surfaces for athletes and low-maintenance greens that last for years. With preventative maintenance programs, they keep every field and green looking game day ready. Schedule a free consultation today at quickturf.com. That's QIKturf.com.
Matt Lewis with Lewis Automotive Group, excited to announce our trade-in, trade-up event. During this event, you get thousands extra for your trade value. Plus, it's all backed by the Lewis Guarantee. Double the factory warranty, that's a 10-year, 120,000-mile powertrain, plus you get 1 year worth of maintenance on us. This event's only going on at Lewis Automotive Group and is at all of our locations in Fayetteville, Springdale, and Farmington.
Could a little extra support help your child shine even brighter? Bridges Therapy Group empowers kids to live their best life with expert pediatric therapy services tailored to their needs. Their team offers occupational therapy, speech therapy, and physical therapy, guiding families from the first evaluation to every milestone along the way. Give your child the tools to succeed and shine. Visit btgpeds.com to learn more and schedule your appointment today. That's btgpeds.com.
Love where you live and play with Lindsey Management. Enjoy affordable apartments with community amenities like fitness centers and resort-style pools at select locations. Golf memberships are also available at beautiful 9 and 18-hole courses. Buying or selling a home, commercial, or investment property? Trust Lindsey and Associates, serving the community and bringing great neighbors together for over 50 years. Lindsey, #1 in apartments, golf, and real estate.
The court continues to be the place to be for high school volleyball as the excitement continues to build. We're a little bit more than a month out from the start of the state tournament, and there's just so much talent in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, and you're seeing it game in and game out when these ladies take the court. They are fighting for those opportunities to win a state title, and that includes a Shiloh Christian team that has started off conference play in the 5A West 4-0. A big part of that is Chloe Blessing, and she is our Lindsey Girls Athlete of the Week. Why? Because she helped lead Shiloh with 20 kills and 23 digs in their 3-2 win over Siloam Springs. I was able to catch up with Chloe earlier this week to talk about the game she had and why that win was so big for the Saints. Chloe, a big week for you last week. You guys got the win over Siloam Springs, but you ended the match with 20 digs, 23 kills. Just talk about that performance and why it was so pivotal for you guys to get that 3-2 win.
Yeah, it was definitely rough. Once we lost, we were down 2 sets, and then we were kind of like stressing because it's been a while since we've lost a conference game. And so like the reality of like that was we didn't want, we didn't want to do that. So I was like, we have to get this, and if we didn't, then it would have been all right. But I think the younger girls, they really just stepped up, and I think it kind of proved that we could hang with anyone in conference. So
what is your mentality when you step onto the volleyball court each week?
I think just like playing for like the girl next to me, and like just not playing like selfishly.
You mentioned not losing a conference game for a while, currently 5-0. Just how much do you guys take pride in that? And like you said, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's definitely something that you guys strive for.
Yeah, definitely going undefeated in conference is kind of like an expectation we've kind of set, like that's like a goal we want to hit. And so we're just going to work towards that as much as we can.
What do you think the identity of this team is so far, with the amount of matches that you guys have played, what you guys have left? What would you say is the identity of this team?
I feel like we're definitely just trying to not play selfish, just being there for the girl next to you and just being good teammates and just finding our identity in that and not being like, just being humble and not being there for ourselves because you're going to get tired and you're exhausted. So just doing it for the people around you.
That unselfishness attitude, you talked about it as the way that you step onto the court, how you play, how this is that overall team mentality. Why do you think for you guys that translates to winning?
I think that we were really young this year. And so just having that, like, kind of like the older girls, like leading and just like playing for the younger girls, and the younger girls like want to play for those, if you're working hard for the girl next to you, they're going to work hard for you. So I think that just translates into good volleyball.
For you, when you look at what this team wants to accomplish, what would a state title mean at the end of the season?
It would definitely mean a lot because we lost a lot of our starters last year. So to be able to kind of like,
once again, congratulations to Chloe on being our Lindsey Girls Athlete of the Week. That is going to do it for Varsity Vibe today. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to follow us on our social media platforms, subscribe to the podcast, and subscribe to the newsletter, varsityvibearkansas.com. A special shout out to our sponsors, Lindsey, Lewis Automotive, Bridges Therapy Group, and Quick Turf. I'll see you tomorrow.